My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Every single week, we break down full fight cards. We give you our picks, our predictions, and we give you different ways to make money watching those fights. And one of those ways is Prize Picks. I normally do this video later in the week because I know that's when the most of you are actually attacking some of these lines and playing some of these lines. But the reality is the lines move throughout the week, and if you want some good, solid lines where you can make some real money, you have to hit them early. So I'm filming this on Wednesday. If you see this after Wednesday and the line may have moved, you'll have to make a judgment call. But I've seen a few lines here that I absolutely love, so I wanted to film this video, hop in, and tell you my favorite Prize Pick entries. If you don't know what Prize Picks is, it's daily fantasy, and you can build custom entries. The only thing you need to do is say more or less on the numbers you see on the screen. Put all of those together, and you can control your payouts. You can 10 times your money, 5 times your money, 3 times your money, and you could even do safety net bets where you lose one, you get two, and you still make some money. Go to wewantpicks.com/prizepicks now. They will instantly match your deposit. Take the deposit match money. Take their free money and then play some of these lines. If you lose, who cares? It was their money. If you win, well, now you have even more house money to play with. That's wewantpicks.com/prizepicks, promo code WWP. So let's jump in. I already know which ones I love, but I'm going to walk you through some of my logic here, depending if those lines move. I don't normally like playing significant strikes because significant strikes is a subjective thing. When we do our monkey knife fight breakdown, that's total strikes. That's very different. Significant is literally up to the guy counting, that was the jab, that wasn't significant, that straight was. I don't normally mess with significant strikes, but I do like to come in here and look at some of these numbers and see what seems crazy. Obviously, Andre Muniz is super low. Even Jim Miller is super low. I personally am not going to play these, but depending what happens with these lines throughout the week, these may be two solid more plays on the significant strikes because Andre Muniz, Uriah Hall's tough. He's never been submitted before. I imagine this goes a little bit before Muniz wins. And Muniz may win a decision. It's not a guarantee he's going to submit Uriah Hall. So he could probably blow past that 18.5. And actually, I'm liking that more and more as I talk. And then the Jim Miller one at 31.5, that's a wild card. He's coming off 2 knockouts in a row. Donald Cerrone's a little older, but that's another one where the more is probably pretty solid. Fight time minutes, exact same logic. You'll see they have PFL in here as well, but obviously we're only talking about UFC today. But I like to look at minutes that just seem way too low or way too high. Izzy, this is saying a decision. If you think Izzy stops Cannonier or the other way around, then grab that, play the less. Sean O'Malley, this is basically saying a decision as well, which I agree. And that factors into one of my favorite ones here. We'll skip takedowns for a second. And that's fantasy score. Sean O'Malley's fantasy score is at 112 points, which means he's going to get a stoppage. But they just showed us the minute line. And they're expecting to go to a decision. And I agree with that. I do think Sean O'Malley wins, but I think he wins a decision. And Sean O'Malley winning a decision is not going to score him 112 fantasy points. So I love the under on Sean O'Malley fantasy points there. So I went ahead and added that. Then we'll look at some of these other ones. Listen, Robbie Lawler, I think he loses. So I think the under on him is a solid bet as well. I'm going to leave it here for now because there's another one that I like, and I'm just going to build a confident 2 slate entry, and that is Volkanovski takedowns. I like the more than 2. He got 3 in his last fight against Max, and I imagine it's more of the same, coming with the striking, working the takedowns. So I'm going to grab the over there. We're just going to do $10 to win 30 because this is just a 2 for 2. I will triple my money, and I'm going ahead and lock that in. And now we'll build another one where we have a little bit of flexibility, right? I'll do a cushioning so I can miss it and still get paid. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to add Sean Strickland takedowns, but that's over on 2 is probably solid. If you remember, he got 4 against Uriah Hall in that fight, and we know Alex Pereira is a very, very dangerous striker as well. So we're going to go back to fantasy score. And I think I am going to do the less on Robbie Lawler. I think Brian Barberena is going to win that fight, so I like the less there. Or at the very least, Brian Barberena should be tough enough to not get put out. We'll leave the rest of these alone because Jessica Rose Clark should win. Macy Barber should win. Dricus du Plessis, If you think he stops Brad Tavares, he'll get past this 80. This 80, frankly, is kind of low, considering that dude is 15 stoppages into his career. Again, we already did the under on Sean O'Malley, and we're going to leave the rest of these alone. The takedown line's another intriguing one. I pray to God Jessica doesn't get 1.5 takedowns because she may get submitted. Julia Stoliarenko is very dangerous on the ground, and this is probably less than 1.5. I don't think she needs any takedowns, let alone 2 in that fight. Jim Miller, half of a takedown is also a very solid line because he just needs 1 takedown. And he hasn't used takedowns in his last few fights, but he may use that against Cowboy. And then again, fight minutes. I'm going to do over on Andre Muniz. I do not think he's just going to come in here and submit Uriah Hall in the first round. I do think Muniz wins, but I don't think he's submitting Uriah Hall in the first round. I just don't see that happening. Ian Gary, this is like 99% a decision. Man, that's a tricky line because Ian Gary has power in his hands. Gabe Green's a little chinny. Gabe Green also has power in his hands. Honestly, the under on this is probably great. I'm not going to do that, but you should probably experiment with doing the under on that. Jalen Turner, 10 minutes. We'll leave it. Izzy, Sean, 12.5. We'll leave all of those alone, and we'll go back to significant strikes. What I want to do is the more on Andre Muniz, but I've already have him in here for over on minutes, and I trust the minutes more than significant strikes. But if you want to, you can build a separate entry and throw them more on Muniz here because I do like that quite a bit. And if we're looking here, the other low one that is really meaningful to me here is the Jim Miller one. So I think I'm going to throw that in here. We'll do the over on Jim Miller. And then I'm going to do my flex pay. $20 to win 45 if all 3 of these are correct. If 2 out of 3 are correct, let's say Jim Miller doesn't land that many strikes at all. Well, all of a sudden, I still make money even though I lost that. I 1.25 times my money. I can do a power play. So this is $20 to win 100. I'm 5 times my money, but we're going to go back. We're going to bring it down. We're going to stay slow and steady, win consistent money every week instead of chasing. So I think 2 out of 3 of these are going to hit at least. So I should make money no matter what with this entry. So we're going to go ahead and lock that in. And that is my favorite part about PrizePicks is the flexibility I have. You just watched me grab different things. We took fight minutes, significant strikes, takedowns, fantasy score, whatever I want that makes sense, and I can build a perfect entry, and then I control my payout. So I love PrizePicks for stuff like this. Guys, go to wewantpicks.com/prizepicks. Sign up, make a deposit. They will match that deposit. Take the free money. Play some of these lines. If you're watching this on Wednesday and you're laying on your couch, hit the lines now. These lines move with the money. Don't wait too long because it may move and then it's a tougher line and all of a sudden you don't like it as much. Hit them now. I'll see you guys on Saturday.